You're listening to Were You Still Talking? Here we go. Hey, welcome back. This is Were You Still Talking? This is Joel Albrecht once again, and today in my studio I have Danny Johnson. He is a comedian extraordinaire. He has starred in numerous TV commercials, Comedy Central's Laugh Riots, Florida's Funniest Comedian Top 10 finalist. He's winner of the Carnival Cruise Line Comedy Challenge, finalist in Search for the One Christian Comedy Contest, recently filmed his wildly popular Dry Bar comedy special, now available on Apple TV, Amazon, and Peacock, and has had the pleasure of sharing the stage with Chris Rock, Damon Wayans, Bob Saget, Richard Lewis, Ricky Smiley, Norm Macdonald, and a variety of others. Recently, he filmed Nateland Live at the famous Zany's Comedy Club in Nashville, Tennessee. Nateland Live, if you don't know, is the brainchild of Nate Bargatze, probably the most famous comedian in the world right now, and it features some of the best clean comedians touring today. His second comedy special launched on YouTube on October 3rd and hit 10K views in 24 hours. It's now at like 1 million views. Okay, well, over 100,000, nearly 200,000. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. That's quite an intro. I need to button that up a little bit. I need to tighten that up.
I could have gone on about an hour. It's a it's a
we're out of time.
Yeah, and that's it. Thank you. That's been great.
Yeah, I'm reading it. I'm like, this guy sounds too good to be true. He needs to be making more money.
Well, once you've hit 100K on YouTube, I mean, you're pretty much set for life, right? That's it.
I did look into that whole monetization on YouTube, and it's like there's so many other qualifications. You know, your shorts have to have X number of views over the past 90 days, and then and then continuing videos have to have so many views. And so I'm not there yet, but I'm happy with the new special. It's like you said, 10,000 in the first day, and then 150 something I think at this point. And for little old me, it was funny. I posted like a big 100K social media post, like celebrating 100,000 views, and then I'm scrolling through social media and I come across Jim Gaffigan, who I'm a huge fan of, and he had published a YouTube special all about bourbon and whiskey. He has his own whiskey or own bourbon. And he had posted it, and he got 1 million views in an hour. I was like, all right.
No, but that's Jim Gaffigan. I mean, come on.
I know.
He's been around a minute, and he's kind of on a lot of shows, and he has like 100 kids to support.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right. Yeah, he does.
And I don't know how he's going to
I'll take my wins. I'll take my wins. I can't compare myself to the world famous comedians.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty big win. And I was looking back at your previous one that has over 600K. So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, that's huge.
I think I got notification on that on my first special from 2019, the Dry Bar one, across all platforms over 5 to 7 million. They're telling me or guesstimating. Because it got pushed to Amazon, Apple, and Peacock, and then it was on Facebook and YouTube and clips on Instagram, and then all over. Like, there's a Samsung devices. There's an app called, I think it's called Zubi. It's like XUBO or something, and a ton of my views come from that. I don't have a Samsung, so I don't know, but yeah, interesting.
Crazy
where they put it.
It is. It's really interesting. Yeah, so that's awesome. So you have millions of views out there, and pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Where's the cash? Where's the cash come?
I had a video go viral, and I've always said, sometimes people say they have viral videos, and I'm like, seriously, that video has 100K views. That's not viral. You need at least 1 million.
Right.
And when mine was going viral, I'm like, wow, it's over 100,000. It's almost going viral. Oh, it's over 500,000. It's a 15-second video of a squirrel. And
yeah,
it's like, then I realized, like, it went viral. Right. Big deal. Yeah, that's.
I think the bigger pressure is, what do you put next? That's got to weigh on you more. What's if you do have one go viral, like now, entertain us more. You know what I mean? more pressure.
It kind of is that way, and I just gave up after my third. I mean, I've posted a few since then
Yeah.
that don't do anything, and I'm like, oh well,
I think my
whatever.
most viewed TikTok video is me ranting about car salesmen, and how much I dislike their tactics. And I was baffled. It had nothing to do with my comedy. I was trying to be facetious and over the top, of course, right?
Hmm.
And just air out and the video got stitched, commented on, shared, liked, hearted, blasted in the comments, DMs my way. It was like, this is what, this is what was successful. All right. Not the jokes I've been working on for years. All right. That's fine.
Yeah, that's hey, whatever's gonna stick is gonna
Yeah.
stick, and that was one of my questions with our pre-interview that we had several weeks ago.
Hmm.
Our hour pre-interview. We how long did it take you to get like the most recent 30-minute special?
Yeah.
Have you been writing that for 15 years?
Mm-mm.
Is it etched out? No.
I think the first one, um, the first special in 19, I would say that was the first part of my career. That was like the greatest hits of the first part of my career. So yeah, more than a decade of stuff. But you got to think, anything I created in the first 5 years of doing stand up, I didn't carry. It never lasts. It's always, it turns out to be not good enough, or you have different, you grow as a comedian or whatnot. And then from 19 to this year in January when I filmed the second one, all those bits you see on the YouTube special called Everything Bothers Me is stuff that I worked on from post 2019 and just honed it. And it's frustrating sometimes when you film something, even if it's a shorter set for something, and you continue to do those bits, those jokes, because they grow, they get
Hmm.
longer, shorter, new punch, different taglines. So when I finally got the final copy to view and edit or as needed or whatnot, I was like, oh man, this joke is so much better now live than it's going to appear on this comedy special, but it's still a good joke, so I had to go with it. But it's very luckily for that particular special, the YouTube one, I only just removed one joke. Everything else was pretty much as is. This is it was a really great environment, crowd, and I was well prepared. I was over prepared.
Well, and that's pretty amazing because don't a lot of specials really happen over 3 nights? Jesus. Whoa, something is very.
Whoa.
Did you hear
Yeah.
that?
See?
Oh,
What happened there?
one
It
second.
was like pots and pans.
That was-
Are you cooking? Are you cooking?
No, that was a somehow. I don't know how. Don't know how that happened. My snare drum fell over. I have a snare drum behind me.
Your door
And-
open. Oh,
yeah, my wife was concerned. I'm okay.
Oh, hope. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see anybody. I hope you have a ghost.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Little quote from a Christmas movie. Anyway,
But yeah, so I did film it over 2 nights. So I
Okay.
had 2 shots at it. Really 4 shots because it was shorter sets than I'd like because it was during a comedy festival. But yeah, over 2 nights, and then if I recall correctly, they essentially took the second night's performance because it was just if I'm at a venue for 2 nights, I'm probably more comfortable the second night.
oh, that's
Just
interesting. Yeah.
just I'm definitely I think it's a good show the first night, but you're familiar with the layout, with the crowds, with the venue, with the sound system.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So you're just more comfortable. Yeah.
just naturally more comfortable.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And it's interesting about now you're doing the show better. An engineer friend of mine once had the best quote. He said, because it happens when you record an album as a musician, you're always feeling like, oh, I could have done that better. And he
Yeah,
said, that's just a snapshot in time. You just got to think of it that way.
yeah,
It's just a snapshot of what happened in that
yeah,
moment. And so you got to let it go, which is, yeah. So
yeah.
you can always improve stuff. And I was a
And-
comedian.
yeah.
You are, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now it's working on newer stuff. So that's more nerve-wracking because um, everything I've created, my two specials are a culmination of everything I've created up to this point. So if you're an Uber fan of me, Danny Johnson, and you've seen both specials, you're hoping for a bunch of new stuff. So you won't get the whole show new stuff, but you'll always get something new, as much as I could put out there and attempt to do. But that's a whole nother. I don't think I'm well known enough for people to memorize my act just yet, but that's a concern of mine constantly as a comedian. Like, have they heard this before? Is this because I get a good number of people coming out specifically to because they see I'm there, and I'm like, I hope they enjoy the show because they've probably heard 30% of it already. Maybe not.
So you won the Carnival Cruise Line contest. Have you done a Carnival Cruise Line cruise?
I never did it. That
Never
was
did it.
really early in my career,
Uh-huh.
and I was so fearful. I had heard that there was such a high termination rate of comedians because they weren't prepared to do that much material, different material. Because I think at the time they said you need to have 2 hours of jokes,
Whoa.
four different 30-minute sets, too clean, too dirty. And I'm like, well, I don't do dirty. And I think I was less than 10 years into the business, so I knew I didn't have 2 hours at the time, and so I didn't take the gig. And because they that was part of the winning it was you get booked on a cruise, and I was
Oh,
like,
oh.
you're going to terminate me at the end of it. So and then I just never went. Cruise ships really never appealed to me, and maybe at some point in my career, I might endeavor onto a cruise ship, but the kind of shows that I do, whether it's for a church or a corporate gig or a private party, or a lot of master plan communities have event centers that have entertainment. I do those. They'll pay the same or more than a week on a cruise.
Oh,
So
wow. Yeah.
I don't know that I want to sequester myself for 5 to 7 days to make what I can make in one night. And I think the great thing about cruises, though, is there's so many shows. And the more you do it, if you're self-aware enough, you get better and better and better and better. So guys I know that do cruise ships are doing, 3, 5, 7, 9 shows a week on a cruise or a 5-day cruise even, in front of massive crowds. So they are getting better if they're doing it right.
And so that's kind of a way to work out stuff too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
can
mean,
really work on things.
unless not too much stuff because
Uh,
it's almost like one bad review and because you get scored every show by the entertainment director, and if you get a complaint of any kind, it's very touchy sometimes.
oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just had my vehicle serviced at a local dealer, and I
yeah.
wasn't happy with some of the things they did.
Hmm.
And the service guy ran out and said, if you weren't happy, please don't give us anything. Just don't review, and let
Right.
us try it again because it affects my pay. And I'm like, oh, wow. Well,
Yeah. It's especially with car dealerships and what I found out because my mom had a bad experience recently, and through our research found out that most of them are not only very profitable, because they're so profitable that the main corporation, so Toyota dealerships have to buy cars from Toyota, right? That's the only relationship they have is they just buy cars from Toyota and then sell them to us. So if you complain or lodge a concern directly with corporate Toyota, bypassing the dealership, they will come down on that dealership, say, hey, you're making hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars with us. Fix this customer's problem and be done with it. So my mother got a whole new car, and it was her car
wow.
was like, well, a car was a few days old and started to have problems. It was a brand new 2026, and it turns out it was delivered to the dealership, and then my mom picked it up with no coolant.
Oh, ouch.
So they take it
Ouch.
in. It took them a week to figure out what was wrong. They made the mistake of telling her there was no coolant, and
Yeah,
they
that was
fixed it. Yeah, they
stupid.
fixed it, and tried to give it back to her. I said, no, 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 no. Here's who you contact. They're going to give you a new car, and so she did. And within the next 2 weeks, she finally got a new car when a new one was delivered. So
It also means that their service department didn't do their check
Yes,
because,
because that's what she pointed out as well. I said,
yeah.
tell them, and I talked to a guy or two
Hmm.
begrudgingly because I dislike it's just such a slimy environment. Because even during the sales process, I called the salesman out on all his crap. Like he's not answering questions, he's double talking, he's talking in circles, and maybe they're not used to someone being so curt. I wasn't mean. I was just you're saying one thing and you're showing me another. I don't. You're not making sense. So yeah, they finally got her a new car, and
It always blows my mind because I was a car salesman for about 10 minutes and
mhm.
they taught me all these slimy techniques. They're literally like, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
how much money a person has, sell them a car.
yeah,
It really, to get them in a loan is the real deal. That's what you're
yeah,
really trying to do. You're not
yes.
really selling a car, you're selling a loan. That's a
Hmm.
big part of it. Get them in that car because that's money in your pocket and ours, and a lot
Some of
more
them are
into
upfront with
ours.
like,
So, yeah.
some of them are so upfront with, hey, I'm going to give you a better deal if you finance with us. But if you don't finance with us or you pay cash, the price of the car is going to be higher. I was like, you can do that?
It is nuts. That didn't actually happen to me. The funny thing, the one time I paid cash for a car, I was thinking about it with my latest car, but we changed our mind. But when I did pay cash for a car, they didn't know what to do. They
Yeah.
didn't change the price, but they were like, okay, we don't know how to do this, so we have to do the loan paperwork and it'll be paid off today. I was just like, what?
No.
You don't know how
Weird.
to sell a car. Literally don't. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a
Nutty.
dealership once many, many years ago, and it's these little four square cubicles that are like you can see the other person's forehead, right? But when you're sitting down, so you can see I see the other this couple talking to a salesman, and we had gone into this dealership because if you buy a new car that week, you get either a free 70-inch television or like $1,000 Visa gift card. It was in the paper. It was in the newspaper. I had the flyer, right?
Hmm.
So I'm eavesdropping into the couple next to me, and the salesman leans over to this elderly couple and he goes, "Hey, I'm not supposed to do this, so don't tell anybody. But if you buy the car today, I'll give you either a TV or a Visa gift card." And I heard him, and chills just went up because everyone gets that, right? So I literally stood up with the newspaper flyer, and I said, "Everyone gets that buys." Because he made it sound like don't tell anybody to this
Right.
older couple, like he's giving him some sort of deal, and the car salesman just stared at me like I took his child or something.
And the amazing thing to me is it must work because they continue to do it. If it
Yeah,
didn't work, it seems like they would change their tactics. But it's I guess it still works with cars. That used to be how they sold everything, but
yeah.
now it seems to be just cars.
I would
You
almost
can't
rather
get
buy
away from
now
it.
from like
Yeah.
Carvana or some place that just had a price
Right.
and just hope for the
Yeah.
best. I mean, I think cars nowadays, the way they're made, like back in when I was younger, you can kind of pick, oh, you're going to see a lot of cars of these on the side of the road broken down. But now, I mean, cars are made pretty well. Unless you're driving hundreds of thousands of miles, you should be fine in general. And then do your research. What's you want the out the door price? What's the fees? What's the car selling for? How many are in inventory? All that stuff. It's all boring stuff, but I think people they get worn down in the dealership too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. They do that. That really annoying thing. Well, let me go talk to my manager.
yeah.
It's like, well, why don't you bring your manager over here and we'll have a
Oh, I did that.
conversation?
I
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
I bought a 24 Mazda a couple years ago, and he goes, "Let me go ahead and run this by my manager." I'm like, "Do you not have any decision making power?" He's like, "Well, I need to talk to my manager." I go, "Who's your manager?" And he pointed to this guy that was 9 feet away. I go, "What's his name?" He goes, "Matt." I go, "Matt, come here."
Nice.
And
Nice.
I go, "This guy is helping
Yeah.
me out. He's doing a great job, but he doesn't have the power to make the decision. So could we just knock this out real quick?" And then we just knocked it out. And and even though I thought I got a good deal, I don't know if I got a good deal.
You never really
You never
know.
know.
Yeah,
You
you
never.
you never really know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. when we are the car we have now, we got during COVID, so it was like this is not going to go well, but we'll do. That's actually why we leased it, because the end of lease price was the car was still going to be worth that.
Yeah.
There was a day when at the end of your lease the car's worth like half, but
Right.
at this point, end of lease price, actually it was worth more at that point. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Yeah. And for me as a comic, I got to find a car that's gonna go. It's fuel efficient and it's gonna last hundreds of thousands of miles, hopefully.
So
So
doesn't it
not
have
a
to be funny too? Do you get like really small cars?
Yeah, I bought like the
Like
Oscar Mayer Wiener truck, and
I've seen those for sale before. That's funny you say that. I've
Yeah, I've
literally
seen
seen those for sale.
who would buy that?
Like, what the? Big fan of weird vehicles, I guess. Where
Yeah.
I'm in Oregon, it probably had a lot of offers because
Yeah,
like strange
Can I
cars.
put
out
cheese
here.
on that thing or
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
I'm looking for one with cheese on top.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's got to be an HOA violation. You can't have that in your neighborhood. I don't. People think it's a
that's-
theme party of some sort.
Like, what the heck? And how far is
That's
that
your
really
everyday
going to go?
commuter.
Yeah. How far is that going to make it? What's underneath that Oscar Mayer Wiener? Like,
Yeah, I like
Oh,
seeing those
jeez.
theme cars though. I've seen the A-Team truck. I've seen or the van. I've seen Scooby-Doo van, Batman car, of course. But yeah, I can't. The car has to be reliable. Has to get me from A to B. That's it.
somebody here had a Ghostbusters ambulance that I'm pretty sure they made.
Oh.
They drove that all over the place. And then one of the cars from it's probably dead now, but Animal House was filmed here. So one of the cars from that used to
Yeah.
drive around here forever. I'm sure it was the same car from the movie.
Well, me
but,
being in the
yeah.
southeast, I see quite a few of the Duke boys from Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah,
cars.
I'm sure. Uh, Dukes. Of
I could never get
Hazzard.
that car
Oh,
because
yeah.
the door doesn't open. I'm not climbing through any window at this age and weight. I
Even
am
me,
not.
yeah. No, that's uncomfortable. That is.
You're gonna have to crane lift
that
me
is-
like they do for people in the pool, the elderly people or handicapped people in a pool. They need to do that for me in a car that doesn't open.
to get you in a window. I wonder how many stuntmen got hurt doing that, because
Yeah.
it wasn't the actors.
Just
That-
chin on the
yeah.
top of the car, like
Oh,
oh
and there's a roll cage in there and stuff. That stuff that hurts. That hurts.
yeah.
Yeah. I think the
We had a
Starsky.
plane. We had a plane on 95 South near Orlando. We had a private jet land on top of a car. Just
Oh,
the
that
other
was
day.
near you?
Yeah,
I
well,
saw the video of
a
that.
couple hours away, but
Uh-huh.
and the lady lived. Everyone lived.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what people in the pilot world call a off-field landing, and very successful one.
Yeah, they said the front tires of the plane crushed the passenger side, and this woman in the driver's side just gets out.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
And
I think it
is
speaks
interesting
to
because on that highway, on 95 South and on I-4, which goes east to west, west to east, there's signs that say low-flying planes. And what I find,
man.
what I find most humorous about that sign is that there's no other instructions.
Like,
It's
that's
just
it. Well,
Low-flying plane. Like,
it's
and then
interesting.
I'm like, I find myself flinching. Like,
Uh-huh.
how low are these things?
They could be that low. That's where you go in an emergency if you're a pilot, a small aircraft pilot, not if you're flying a jet. But that's what you're trained to do. Then, because a road probably doesn't have wires and it's pretty flat, but you don't know what people are going to do. You hope they're going to brake.
Right.
That person had no chance. Like, I saw that video, they couldn't see it, and I'm sure he was trying to get just in front of it, but oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I like
amazing.
the fact that before the low-flying planes signs were on that highway, probably 50 people called 911 screaming, "This plane is about to slide down anything. I can't believe." Oh, no. It's fine. It's just low. It's just low. Sorry for the
That's
call.
probably true.
Yeah, and
That-
then 911's
yeah.
like, that's our 50th call. Would somebody please put a sign on the highway?
There's a street in L.A., Sepulveda Boulevard, that goes right next to the airport, and
Right.
they land on top of your head. It seems like there's no signs there. There's no warning. You just have this massive 747 that looks like it's going to touch down on you. Here we are.
That's got to be a terrible feeling to see that and not know.
Well, me being an aviation nut, I think it's fun. Like,
And
oh,
here's
yeah. Now,
my
if you didn't know, that would be really scary.
how
Yeah.
much do you want to bet the insurance company of that woman who got struck by the plane, her car insurance company is going to give her a hard time about fixing or totaling the car? Were
Well, it
you
would be
wearing your
the
seatbelt?
pilot's insurance company, but yes,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know it. Well, you should have done something. Or
Right. Did you not
yeah.
see the plane coming in? Were you wearing your seatbelt? Did you put your blinker on? Anything not to pay?
Did you put your blinker on when he hit? I'm amazed that I think it's the airbags that save people now. Though, was
Yeah. I
my sister got in an accident and they were in a Prius and they had no idea the Prius had like 15 airbags
yeah.
because they all went off. It was a bad accident and they were pretty much okay.
Yeah.
But I think it would have killed them in an older car. But yeah,
Yeah.
all these airbags went off and they thought the car was on fire.
I think it would make my day, and I'm really thankful, honestly, that everyone survived. But I think it would really make my day if I found out that the woman driving the car that got hit by the plane was having the worst day in the world, and she finally got on the highway without traffic, and she's traveling and taking a deep breath. She goes, "Well, I just have to be thankful things couldn't get worse." And then the plane hits her car.
this, this sounds like the mind of a comedian, right?
Yeah, like she's having the worst day ever, and she finally gets peace of mind. She's alone in her car. She's just taking deep breaths. She's got to meditate. Got to be positive.
Oh, it's
I'm
all
moving
good.
forward.
Wham! Oh,
Yeah, things couldn't get worse. And then, bam, the plane drops on her. I saw the video. She gets out of the car. She's just kind of frazzled. It was quite heroic in my opinion. She just kind of gets out like, oh gosh, what I thought I could, someone's like a plane hit you. She's like, I thought a semi hit me, and I'm like, she's standing and walking. It was unbelievable. It was great.
that's pretty amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that really is
I
luck.
do like. I
That's
think
luck.
I wonder if it's a comedy thing because if you look at my algorithm in my social media reels, it's all people falling. It's just people
Well, do
slipping
you
on ice or I don't. This is a childish brain you're dealing with here.
people?
It's just people falling or animal attacks. I love that, and it's all white people. It's only white people. White people are so dumb. It they're the only ones. I think it's because of Disney movies because all these Disney movies they're talking to animals and they're like, oh, I can talk to the buffalo in Yellowstone. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yes. I was just going to mention you must get a
Yeah.
lot of Yellowstone videos in your feed.
Yes. Bring it
Yeah.
on. I love it. I love it. Go talk to that buffalo. Get closer for that selfie, please. I need some amusement.
And the fact that they walk up to I don't know if you've ever been next to a buffalo.
No.
They're huge.
Yeah.
A cow is like looks like a dog next to a buffalo.
Right.
They're massive.
I think I saw
They're
a video
bigger
of
than
a
your
buffalo.
car.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
walking next to the car and the eyes just like looks like a dinosaur next to your car.
It does. And I would not walk up to one. I had no desire to go pet
Yeah.
a buffalo or even a bison, whatever. Actually, okay, I take that back because we did walk. There was a walkway, and we were. It's like around a bunch of geysers and hot springs, not geysers, hot
Right.
springs. So you're walking through this wood walkway, and we're walking along. There's all these people looking over the rail. We're like, "What the heck is that?" So we walk over there. Oh, it's a massive buffalo, and we're clicking selfies. And there's signs all over the walkway. Don't get close to the buffalo. All
Yeah.
over the freaking thing. And we walk away, and sure enough, like 1 minute later, the ranger comes up and scolds
Yes.
everybody. And he goes, they're really fast.
Yes.
And after that, I've seen so many videos where he could have been over that rail faster than we could get our phones back in our pockets.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it just
I
like,
love it.
Wow.
It's white people and mostly white women. If I had to break it down further, it's just let's get a look. Because if you're a guy, maybe especially in the southeast, your chances are you're a hunter, so
You have
don't
some
get close
idea.
to that moose. Don't get close to that. It's a
Right.
It's a stegosaurus. It's going to hurt you.
You get close to a deer, it can do damage. I mean,
Of
the hooves are
course.
very sharp.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had no idea they did
Yeah.
the hoof thing. I thought it was all antlers, but then some deers don't have
Right.
don't have antlers, so they just hoof you.
And the antlers are for show, mainly. They're for show and fighting other deer. But
Yeah.
for a predator, they gonna smack you.
Yeah.
Smack
Even
you
the
down.
little sheep or
Yeah.
lamb, they headbutt you. It's great.
No, that's just fun. I have a friend that has a bunch of goats, and yeah, they always come up and
Yeah.
headbutt you all the time. That's funny.
Well, I love it, so I think people
Yeah.
should still keep doing it.
Keep doing it because it
Yeah.
makes it's fun to watch on the videos. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
You must have seen the video of someone putting their kid on a buffalo. Like it was a
No.
yeah. There's a video out there of some
Like a wild
a
buffalo?
Yellowstone. It's Yellowstone, and it's one of their this is what not to do videos. And yeah, they thought, well, let me put my kid on here, and if it takes off, it like okay, we're gonna take this kid for a ride, all right. I think
Oh
they
my
were
gosh.
okay. I think they were uninjured, because many people do get killed every year by getting gored by buffalo. I mean, that is
Yeah. How do you parent after that?
dang.
As your kids grow up, they're like, "Remember that time you put me on a buffalo,
That's a very good question.
Dad?" You're talking to me about being responsible. Didn't you put me on a buffalo a couple years back? I was lost in the woods for a month.
This is why I'm drinking. It's the buffalo. Jeez.
Yeah. Buffalo Trace.
Oh man. So do you ever go on long road trips where you're out for months?
No, not
No.
anymore. In the beginning, I did to kind of make it work more financially when the money was a little lower, as an opener or a middle
Hmm.
act. I would string together some weeks of stuff, and I was single, I'm not married, no kids or whatnot. And so that was easier. That was the most joyous time of my life. And
Whoops.
no responsibility. But no, so now I try to just keep it to a couple days. And there's not too many venues that are more than a few days anyway. But I would say
Hmm.
the majority of my gigs are 1 or 2 nights. So that's nice. I'm in, I'm out. And if the town piques my interest, I might stay an extra day and a half or day to kind of look around. But I really just want to get in there, do my show, and get going, on to the next one.
So when you were doing traveling, I've always wondered this. Do you have a large wardrobe, or do you just not
Mm.
care if
I'm
people
a minimalist,
yeah.
so
Oh, okay.
I'll do an overnight. Like I flew, I mean, I've even, I've flown from Florida to New Mexico and for Florida to Montana to do a gig just for 24 hours. I was there. And
Hmm.
so I'll just do, I actually bought this very cool suitcase that it lays out to the form of like a something you put a suit in and you zip up the suit, and then that flat piece, it rolls. So that becomes the outside of your bag.
Oh,
and then it
nice.
the flaps zip
Nice.
up on the side, so now you have a
Hmm.
carry-on. So my suit is in, and then my change of clothes and toiletries are in the middle. So I don't always wear a suit, but whatever outfit I choose to wear. So I just do carry-on. I can't stand checking a bag. I just want to get on, and then when I get off, I just want to go, whether it's there, to the rental car place or home when I get home. I especially don't want to stand around a bag, luggage carrier. But yeah, I'm total minimalist, and I used to overpack, and then I'm thinking to myself, if I need some, I'm not going to the Sahara Desert. I'm going to Minneapolis. They have stuff there if I need stuff.
I have to remind my wife this every time, and we go to the same
Yeah,
places a lot of the time, and I have to keep telling her, Hawaii is not even another country or anything.
right.
It's they got a Target there, whatever you want.
Yes. If you forget a shirt or deodorant, you never. I went away for 3 nights to Asheville, North Carolina, with my girlfriend, and I got home and I had to rehang 3/4 of what I brought. I didn't
Hmm.
use everything that I
Right.
that I brought, and I don't even think I overpacked. I thought I packed pretty minimalistically. And when I got home, I was like, "What am I doing? I'm still slightly overpacking sometimes."
I really love the idea. So one day I want to take a trip where I just need my wallet and I don't
Mhm.
pack anything. Of course, I'm
I
sure I would
envy
bring a
those.
pack, but
Yes, you ever
yeah.
you've we all hear about those super rich folks that just have a house somewhere else or a condo or a townhome, and then they just pay somebody to, hey, I'll be there this weekend. Go stock it with whatever. And give them a
Oh
big list.
yeah, I actually built coaches for a time. I worked at Country Coach, and I was put into the really expensive coach factory. So they're
Right.
a million plus.
Right.
And I was like, man, I just can't imagine driving one of these around. And one of the workers was like, oh, they don't drive them.
No.
The people buying this don't. They get them parked for them, and they show. I was like, oh, it
Right.
didn't even occur to me. Of course they don't.
Right.
They have a
Right.
driver. You're paying $1 million for a coach.
Yeah.
You don't need to drive it. Yeah, never,
I
never
I think
crossed
I
my
would like to
mind.
do I think I would like to do the thing. I forget what movie this was. It was a Jim Carrey movie, and I forget which one. But it was sort of a montage, sort of relationship building part of the movie where they just showed clips. But what they did was Jim Carrey and his co-star just threw a dart at a board, a map of the U.S., and then wherever it landed, they booked a flight to and made the best of that weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it
That
was like
sounds so much easier than the whole road trip. I mean, I'd love to do a road trip, but it's a
yeah.
lot.
So like
Yeah.
I think they landed somewhere in like Omaha. So they went and got tickets to a Nebraska college football game, dressed up in all red and white, went to the football game, went out to eat, went to the zoo. I guess it would just have to be a decent destination. With my luck, it would just be in the middle of the forest, and I'd have to
The,
parachute in or something.
well, forests are nice, actually. Forests
Yeah,
are kind of nice.
I'm
I
indoorsy. I'm an indoorsy fella.
So you're not the guy that's going to go out and build a cabin in the woods by himself out of
No,
rocks.
I
I
do often fantasize about just walking off into the woods to eliminate all responsibilities for my life. But I think I'd be back within an hour. Like, there's a lot of mosquitoes out there.
there's a lot of bitey
There's
things.
no,
And
yeah,
what are
no
those
air
bears?
conditioning out
The
there.
bears are bothersome. I watched a video recently. I stumbled on it. I think it was recommended to me. A guy that goes out and builds a cabin by himself out of
Hmm.
basically rocks and dirt, and
Yeah,
but he's a freaking craftsman. I mean,
of
it looks
course.
beautiful. And I thought, wow, that would be amazing. But what a lot of work.
Yeah, I can't fix
Wow.
my own Wi-Fi, let
But
alone build a cabin in the woods.
it's pretty nutty. It's
Like
pretty nutty.
when someone asks that question, like hypothetically, they'll go, if you were stranded on an island, and you were allowed one thing, what would that be? Or if you're in the middle of the mountains or forest, if you're only allowed to bring one thing, I usually say another dude who's a wildlife expert.
That's good. That's
Another
pretty
guy.
good.
That's what I would bring, that, or another woman. Some of them are women that are experts out there, and whoever knows what they're doing, that's what I would bring.
Bear Grylls. That's
Yes.
and you never think to say, well, if I could only bring one thing, I'm dead. That's not. I'm not going to survive with
Yeah.
one item. You know,
Right. Right.
not going to keep you alive. Yeah, always a little nutty.
Yeah. I don't know if I can make fire. That seems to be important.
Unless you're on a tropical island, I always wonder.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's funny. One of my
These
favorite
people always
movies is
find stuff though. These shows
right.
they find it's too good to be true. It's like I found this piece of glass and this map outlining where the food is buried, and I found this jug of water, and they find all these things, and then they survive. I'm like, of course, you're probably outside of a resort and sifting through the trash.
What is that Tom Hanks movie when he's stranded on an island?
Castaway.
Castaway.
Yeah.
I was reading that the cast and crew, mainly the crew, went to an island and tried it to see if they could survive for a week, and they were like, "No, no freaking way." And I
No.
mean, movie crews are pretty tough. These
Yeah.
guys know what they're doing. They know how to do stuff,
Yeah.
and
This
they
is
just
a.
like, no, not happening.
I, I don't know
No.
if this is common knowledge or not, but I learned this in from the movie Castaway, and it's a learning moment for Tom Hanks in the movie as well. But he finally catches a crab in the movie,
Mhm.
and he's sitting by the fire, and he goes to break open a leg and to eat it, and just liquid pours out.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh,
He had assumed it was just meat, like flesh, like human, and which I didn't know either. I would have cooked it, of course, but I would have thought it was just meat flesh that you cook, not that is liquid and it turns into the flesh. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think they were what's the word? They were playing a little with reality there. They were stretching the imagination. I
I
think there
imagine they were. Yeah.
would be some meat, but it would be disgusting. Well,
Yes.
I don't like seafood anyway, but it would
Well,
be
yeah, I could tell in
it'd
that the
be
way you said
really
disgusting, I could tell.
but especially yeah, a raw. I mean, people eat oysters. That's just those are raw, right? Those
I've
are
had them a time or two. I
slimy
don't get
things.
it's
I
another
don't
it's
get it either. I don't know.
this is what eating oysters is like. In order, someone will go, oysters are great, you should try them. I said, okay. And they'll go, what you have to do is you put the oyster on a cracker, you put horseradish on it, Tabasco sauce, maybe a squirt of ketchup, some salt, another cracker on top. I'm like, you're not even eating the oyster, and you're
You're not.
meh.
Yeah, that's like.
It's like people that say they love coffee. I'm like, oh, what kind of coffee? Like a nice black coffee? They're like, no, coffee with like caramel syrup and whipped cream and sprinkles and a cherry and seven Splenda. I'm like, you don't like coffee. You like a morning ice cream sundae is
You
what you
like,
like.
yeah, you like sugar. That's how we were raised. Not myself, but a lot of us were raised
Oh, I
on,
was.
the new Starbucks world. And yeah, I love black coffee as long as it's not like a Folgers or anything my parents would have drank.
Right.
Good coffee. But I also love a sugary drink. Are you kidding me? Sugar? Yummy.
I My family makes fun of me because I drink Folgers instant coffee, the crystals.
hmm
And
Yeah,
I just
no, I can't. I don't think I could do that. My aunts still have that around.
mhm.
Aunts and uncles are always like, "You want some coffee?" No, no, I'm good. I'm
It
just
was
fine.
amazing looking back as a child how late in the day adults drank coffee at family events or gatherings. That was sort of how you ended the evening.
Oh
It
yeah.
used to, it was like, oh, after dinner, let's put the coffee on and bring out the desserts. And
Well,
now I'm an
the
adult and
cups
I'm
were
like, if,
like, the cups were just these
yeah,
teeny little things. They weren't like what the 16 ounce, double shot. It wasn't that.
yeah.
It was a
But if
little
I drink
different.
coffee after 10 a.m., I'm up for a week.
Oh, that's funny. We always have 4 o'clock coffee. It's
Oh my
something
gosh.
it's what my wife got it from her grandma, so that's why.
Yeah.
It's just handed down. And then she keeps finding these articles about the benefits of drinking coffee, and she's been finding them
Yes.
for years. Look, there's
You
another
could,
article about how
yeah.
that coffee's going to
You can
save our life.
find
Yeah.
you can find information to back any philosophy that you have.
Any idea that you have?
It doesn't matter
For you.
what you can make something up and you'll find a study somewhere. Like, see, I told you that Tic Tacs are great when you shove them in your eyelids. It's
Being overweight's better if you're standing in the woods. You're going to want to have that extra weight. You
right.
don't want to
Overweight
be out
people are
there
less likely to
thin.
be kidnapped. So
Yes,
that's why I'm overweight.
that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Who, with all the people you have performed with,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite? Like someone who just treated you the best? Or,
I would say there's two, one deceased, one alive. Deceased is this gentleman by the name of Greg Giraldo, and he's known as King of the Roasts before Jeff Ross was King of the Roasts. And he passed away at a very young age from a drug overdose, prescription meds. Brilliant guy. He was a Harvard graduate, a lawyer, and just gave that all up to do stand up. And had a sitcom for a little while on CBS right before the Drew Carey show. Just a brilliant mind, great comic. And I worked with him in this now closed club called Uncle Funny's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, many years ago. And it was a Wednesday through Saturday. And he had been on TV and he's got a name for himself. And I didn't even know he was the headliner. I just took the gig and went. And when he showed up, I was like, he looks familiar. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm a big fan of this guy. And he took me under his wing. We hung out all week. He is such a smart, obviously smart guy, but and a great writer and so quick. He was instrumental in changing the way that I write jokes. I was really young in the game at the time, and I was way hung up on trying to find that premise that's original that no one is talking about. And he's like, you should focus more on talking about things you want to talk about with your point of view. He's like,
oh,
You know, he
Yeah.
goes, there are no new premises. There's marriage, sex, religion, politics, society, food, weight, mental health. You know, there's all these categories. There's no new thing. He's like, just make sure, because I told him I had this joke, which is in my first special about McDonald's, that I'm not the most. I said I've done it for so long, and it's about McDonald's, and everyone has a McDonald's joke. He goes, "Well, is that joke true to you?" And I said, "Yeah, this is what happened to me." And he goes, "Then do it, because if you write a joke that's made up and it's not didn't happen to you, or you have no experience with it, it doesn't come across genuine." He's like, "When you tell that joke on stage, I see that it happened to you. It's your point of view, and it's a real thing. Maybe an exaggeration of it, but it's a real thing." And then the second thing he did was he encouraged me. He goes, "You don't talk a whole lot about your family." He goes, "Next, the next show we did two show, one show Wednesday, one Thursday, two Friday, two Saturday." He goes, "Friday night show, do a whole set on your family. Think of all the bits you have about your mom, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, whatever, sisters." And I did, and it went really well. I spent all day preparing for it, and it went really well, and it felt very personal, and it felt very like I was sharing stories in a living room with a group of people. And as I was getting off stage, he goes, "Now that was a good set." And I did the same thing the second show, and then Saturday night I kind of expanded on it. But when we hung out during the day, we just talked comedy, and he's just changed the way I write. He's like, "Stop trying to be the next Bill Hicks or George Carlin." He goes, "You can be a great comic, just make sure your premises are from your point of view." He goes, because he even had a joke in his act that he was trying to get rid of. It's because it's totally made up punchline. It's not something that's real. And he's like, "I'm still trying at my level in my career to get rid of jokes out of my act that I don't want to do." So, he was great. And then just this year, I toured a little bit with Howie Mandel, and Howie Mandel was fantastic. So gracious, super kind, generous. We hung out before the show. After, he just leaves. He's like, "If we're gonna hang out, let's do it before." He goes, "I
Hmm.
just when I'm done, I'm done. I go find a place to eat." You know, sometimes he hopped on his jet and just went to the next city while I drove. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I
that's that's what uh, that's what contest shows will do for you.
Yeah, I did. I was talking to his manager backstage, and it was the last night. I think it was a Thursday night. It was the last night of the tour, and that Saturday night, 2 days later, I was trying to sell out this small venue in St. Augustine, Florida, that has 88 seats, right? And we're doing a venue that has several thousand seats. And
Hmm.
he's like, "Oh, there's about 1,800 here tonight. It's a little light." I was like, "I'm trying to sell out 88 seats." And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Are you guys going to a hotel tonight?" He goes, "No, we got to fly back to LA tonight after the show. It's so draining and taxing." I go, "Why is the jacuzzi not working on the private jet?" And he goes, "Yeah, sometimes it gets clogged and it's not working properly." I said, "Brother, I'm trying to sell out an 88 seater in St. Augustine. This is 2,000 seats. You're killing it, and you get a private jet back to LA." He's like, "All right, I get it, buddy." So he had a good sense of humor about it. But the cool thing about that was when I jokingly, said I'm trying to sell out 88 seats, and I think at that point I had sold 70 tickets or something. His manager was like, "Howie will help you. Do you want to do a video with Howie to promote the night?" I said, "Yeah." I didn't even think. So after the show, unlike the other nights, he stuck around, and we cut a little funny promo to promote my show 2 days later. And it was me and Howie Mandel just talking about St. Augustine 2 nights later, and I got to use that as a promo video and sold the venue out, of course. But it was interesting because some people misunderstood and they were messaging me privately like, "I can't believe you're getting Howie Mandel to come to St. Augustine Saturday to that small venue." I'm like, "That's not what he
Oops,
said."
oops. Listen to the video again. Watch again.
So, but yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to do that.
No, that's an amazing story.
And
Not only because he is willing to do that, but
yeah,
because his manager
hmm
is willing to suggest it. And
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
his
that's
manager
why
was
he
like,
has that manager, but because
yes,
not every manager will do that. So
right.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been with them for 30 years, so they know they're tight.
Yeah.
And well, the great thing about making that video is that we did a couple takes. Like I thought it was going to be sort of a rush, just oh, I'm doing it for this guy. But Howie didn't like the first. He's like, no, let's do this. Let's start over. Let's start over. Let's do. And we did a couple takes, and it was I was like, he's really investing time in this, and I was like, he doesn't. This is a comedy legend that I got to not only work with but watch all those nights touring with him, and then he takes the time to do that, and I was like, that's so great.
It's so amazing. I
Yeah.
don't think people, unless you see him live, you don't realize what a genius he is. I mean, I was watching his specials, I don't know, 80 years ago, whatever it was, when he was first coming up, and just phenomenal. And I recently saw him on a podcast talking about how he thought he totally blew it his first show, the first time he went on to do comedy. He forgot everything. And he did this whole routine by accident. And he was
Interesting.
hilarious even doing that. It was just like people
Yeah.
were laughing at everything because he's so good. He's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
And he
always,
is he is as OCD as he lets people know he is. So,
mhm.
and I am too. So it worked out. We didn't have to shake hands. We bumped fists, and he gets gifts before the show. Like he always had me in his dressing room, his green room, and but I had to open up the gifts.
Well, I
You open
love
it.
that he's so open about being
Yeah.
OCD. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's really hard.
Hmm.
That's not
Yeah,
an
I think
easy
they even
life.
switched out the
Yeah.
microphones. Like when in between me and him, someone came out, and I think he has his own mic, which makes sense.
Right. Totally makes sense. And I don't know why everyone doesn't. Honestly.
Yeah,
It's,
especially
it's a
I think about that a
microphone.
lot when I do a show. Like if I do a show to try out new material at an open mic, and there's like 15 of us, I'm like, and if I'm number 10, I'm like, ugh, this is we're all just sucking on the same lollipop here. Why don't we mix it up a
Maybe you want to stand back and speak a little louder. You
little?
just
Right, right.
you do the show
I'm gonna
really
yell
loud
my
from
new
back
jokes.
here. Do you have a spot where you go to try out new jokes? Do you have like
Yeah,
a
there's a
club?
couple. The
Hmm.
Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, Florida, is less than 30 minutes away, and that's where I started. So I'll try to get a spot there. Um, if not, in my town, there's an open mic every night of the week,
Oh, that's awesome.
somewhere. So, and they're not too tough to get onto,
We
and it's
had a
pretty
lot of them
rare.
here, and now that I'm getting more serious about trying it, they've
Mhm.
dried up. They're completely gone. I think it's because they're getting a lot of bigger acts now, and so they don't need to do open mics.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of.
But yeah, are you where? So where are you you're in Oregon, right?
Yeah, I'm in
Oh,
Eugene, home of the Ducks.
okay. Justin Herbert.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Funny thing about it is the new guy is also Denver's quarterback is also a Duck.
Bo Nix, yeah.
Bo Nix. Well, for a year. I mean, Herbert's from here.
Mm,
Bo Nix came here for a year. Herbert was the first that I remember getting that position from a Eugene high school. So there's probably been others in the 102 years or whatever
yeah.
that the Ducks have been here, but not in the recent championship years. If there was someone local,
Yeah.
they would be on the bench for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
Uh, th-
what a
The
talent.
Ducks have had my fandom for the longest time for my favorite color uniforms. They were the first ones to kind of go a little bit fluorescent.
Oh
Um,
yeah, sometimes.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
remember them being I like that color combo.
They do a different uniform every game, pretty much. They unless it's
Whatever
the
they can
black
sell.
ones, whatever the yeah. Well, it's because of their sponsorship there
Yes.
with what's that guy from Nike. Uh, but I love watching them. They're fun, and it's just amazing to me that there are really three top level quarterbacks in the NFL. It's just one of them doesn't play much, but
Mhm.
because Mariota is still there too.
Yeah, well, he's
Yeah.
playing a lot now because who's the guy?
The guy got hurt, right? Yeah, he's playing this
Yeah,
year.
Jaden Daniels is hurt
Yeah.
on the Commanders. I almost said Redskins and got what got us both canceled.
Oh no! Don't say Redskins. Hey, I'm all for certain things, but I can't get used to the Commanders. Could
I don't. I think even
but
American Indians, like some association of American Indians, came out and said we didn't have a problem with the Redskins. It was actually a tribute to a fallen chief or something. It doesn't matter.
it's interesting because the word redskin comes from a very disgusting practice. So I would get it if people were upset,
Yeah,
but I don't know who was upset about it. Like you're saying, I'm
right.
not sure who was upset about that. But if you
Yeah,
look at what that means historically, you know, that came from a very nasty practice. So
yeah.
I can see why
That
some
makes sense.
people, yeah,
I can
yeah.
see
It's
it.
not the
I
color
just,
of their skin. That's not what it means.
I always try to picture what's the intent,
Right.
you know, and I always try to assume positive intent unless otherwise proven wrong. So, but yeah, everything is touchy. I mean,
Everything is
I,
the commandos. Where does that come from?
right. Nobody's going to be
What
commanding
is
me. I'm my own
that?
person.
What is that? An Arnold Schwarzenegger throwback? Is it-
The commanders. I I did. I'm a clean comic, and probably the least offensive comedian you'll ever hear. And I was doing a bit where I talk a lot with my hands. And
Mhm.
someone from the audience said that, like, you talk a lot with your hands. And I go, yeah, and I'm not even Italian. And half the crowd was like, whoa.
Oh, really?
I was like,
Oh
I
my
stopped my show. I'm like, are you joke?
gosh.
Is this a, I go, are you guys offended by that? Italians do talk with their hands a lot. So do other people. So do non-Italians, but it just is more associated with Italian people. And yeah, there was like a good chunk, maybe 25% of the crowd that wooed me on that. I was like, I can't do
Wow.
this.
That's yeah. I mean, I get it if you're throwing out the N word or something, if you're doing things, if you're doing like real offensive stuff, but a lot of it
Yeah,
is, yeah, it's what people decide to be offended by. It's, I'm
yeah.
just, you're going to
People
know,
like that
that's
can't even
offensive to
enjoy.
me. Why? You
Yes.
don't have to have,
They
that's
can't enjoy
you.
the old school
That's you.
movies that we did,
Yeah.
Airplanes and the Animal House and Naked Gun movies. Even the
Blazing Saddles. I have to search. I have to do when I think, oh, I want to watch that movie. I have to look because it doesn't work edited. Like
yeah,
when they blank out all the words that made it funny, it doesn't
yes,
work. And the person who wrote it, I mean, Richard Pryor wrote the darn thing. Come on,
yeah,
and he was
yeah.
funny.
Even
It's
the Austin.
interesting because Clean Comedian. I don't know how long that's been a thing, honestly. It's more well known now, I think, because a lot of you are very funny and getting bigger. But didn't that used to just mean I'm going on the Tonight Show tonight,
Yeah. Yeah. And there was only
right?
one definition of clean. It was TV or not. Now there's 12 different definitions of clean. There's church clean, there's TV clean, there's late night TV clean, there's cable clean, there's
Holy
corporate
Toledo! I
clean.
had no idea.
Well, like if you think it, because people ask me how do I know I'm a clean comic or not? I'm like, well, I think it depends on the venue, right? So, um, late night TV, you can do sex jokes. You can say damn hell, um, crap. You can church gig. You cannot do sex stuff.
Hmm.
You can't. You can allude to it, but you can't say you. They would rather you not say damn hell, crap. TV clean somewhere in the cable clean somewhere in the middle.
Hmm.
Everything is censored a little bit, so it depends on what your audience wants. And comedy club is free for all. You can do whatever you want
Right.
because
It's comedy.
it's
People are they're adults.
yeah, yeah, they know
They're
what they're
adults.
getting, and but yeah, the different clients will have different requirements, and so I just prefer to stay. I do ruffle some feathers with some opinions or jokes. I guess not. They're not straight out opinions. They're jokes that show my opinion on certain things
Hmm.
in an overly sarcastic way, and they're like people don't agree with it, but they laugh, and but yeah, and I think it's part of the reason. I mean, besides the fact that I don't think like politics doesn't interest me, and being overly detailed with my personal sexual, sex related stuff is not humorous. It doesn't strike me as much as it does, some nuance in life that bothered me during my day or something like that. So I imagine I would be a different comic if those things, pique my interest. But I just don't write jokes about that kind of stuff. So
Well, the advice that you got, it seemed to have really clicked because it does seem like you're talking about your real life. That was actually going to be a question of mine. Like, are these real stories? And
yeah.
it works.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
it seems very natural and like you're really talking about something
Yeah,
that's
my
real. Yeah.
that new special on YouTube that I did is really um personal to me. I think it's the most personal I've been because I talk a lot about my insecurities around my physical appearance, me seeing a therapist, different social situations that I'm in with my awkward social anxiety, a little bit about my family, my medical issues that I've had over the years. So to me, it was a little bit more personal, and it felt good to. It was very therapeutic, and the through line of it is probably really physical and mental health and one's own insecurities. So I'm very proud of it. I think people will enjoy it, and anybody can watch it. So
And it's really good.
yeah,
I'm
thank you.
not, I'm hard on comedians because there's so many of them out there. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of hard on them. I just saw the most brilliant, unclean show from clip from Lewis Black. It's 12 minutes
Hmm.
about following two Christian singers, and it just the writing is like, oh my gosh,
He's great.
yeah,
I've seen
he's
him live. He's
freaking,
great. He's
uh,
amazing live too. He's a really great comic.
yeah. I should really see him next time. Next time he stops into
Yeah, you
town because
should
he
get
comes
some
to
really
town
big
every
comics
once in a while.
there in
Yeah,
Eugene.
yeah. We have a big enough venue that I mean, what's his name? Seinfeld. You remember him? He's he's come through here a few times. He used to come every year, but I guess he's slowed down on his touring. And it always amazes me that he tours. Honestly,
It's I think
yeah,
I'll tour till until I can't.
yeah. I think
I'll
that's
do dates until I
yeah.
can't. I'm listening. I'm in the middle of listening to a podcast. Seinfeld's on Mark Norman and Sam Morril's podcast, talking comedy. I love it, talking shop.
Uh huh. Yeah.
And he says this thing, and he reiterated it on this podcast, the version of it. This thing that I find pretty incredible. As a comedian on stage, I am the expert in what is funny. I'm up here, you're not, so I'm the expert. However, you as the audience get to tell me whether I'm right
Oh, that's perfect.
or wrong.
That's yeah.
You decide. You tell me, like, I could have used, you could have, the timing was off, or it was funny, but could be fun, funnier, or no, that's no good. It's very bizarre to be the expert, and then the audience goes yes or no. They tell you.
I never realized like how tight his show was until I saw some other comedians talking about him.
Uh-huh.
Talking about how well he wrote a show. And then I kind of pay attention. I'm like, oh, yeah, you think he's just up there talking and it's coming right off his
The
head.
first,
And,
the first time
nope.
I, first time I saw him live, he was in the middle of telling a joke, and I thought of a very funny punchline. And then I had this like 3 second fantasy in my head, like I'm gonna email him this punchline. He's gonna be blown away. And then before I could even finish that stupid fantasy in my head, he delivered a punchline that was 1,000 times better than what I thought of. And I was like, what am I thinking? What am I? What's
This,
wrong with me? What
this
kind of
is, in fact, an expert on comedy. This
delusions of
is,
grandeur I have over here.
oh, that's great.
Same thing with
Uh,
Richard Lewis. He did.
mhm.
I thought the same. I worked with him on several occasions, and he is, at that point, I've been doing comedy 35 years, and he recorded every set on an
Wow.
old school cassette recorder, a
Uh huh.
handheld one. And then after every show, because we would do 2 shows Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. After every show, he had the manager driving back to his hotel. He listened to the show, and he came back. In the second show, he had different punchlines for almost every joke.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, this is the work
Wow.
this man in his late 60s is putting in still after
Right.
35 years just to make a joke better. I was like, who am I? I had written down some ideas for him. I just threw it away. I was like, what am I thinking?
There's like two comedies maybe in history that are well known: Jonathan Winters
Hmm.
and Robin Williams, who
Yeah,
literally could go on stage
yeah,
and just do it. But the rest of us are mortal, and we can't.
yeah.
It's not
Well,
really.
Robin
Yeah.
is an interesting bird that gets talked about a lot because he was a notorious joke thief.
Oh, interesting. I don't.
Uh, I
I
don't
think
think
I.
it's so much joke; it's more premise. Like there was
Hmm.
an old joke, there was an old rumor or joke that his manager would walk around the comedy store in L.A. with a checkbook, and if you approached him and said, "Robin took this joke from me," he would just write you a check for $50 or something like that.
Oh, wild.
But I think, I heard Joe Rogan talking about it, and he said what he thinks the deal was is that Robin was in such a flow state up on stage, and I'm sure I'm not quoting Rogan or not even paraphrasing it properly, but his style of comedy is just to get up and go. And if you absorb enough ideas by being in the same room as other comics who are performing, you intentionally or unintentionally absorb these ideas. And in his flow state, where he's so rapid fire and he does an hour of, he just kind of just does it, whether it's his idea or not. And but of course, he's amazing.
That's really interesting, though. That totally makes sense to me, as well as perhaps some substances that he was
Yes,
doing.
yeah,
How is he going to remember where he got an idea?
correct. And I
Right?
don't. I'm not bashing Robin
Yeah.
Williams. He's one of the greatest, and he turned out to be one of the greatest actors of all time too. I mean, to have his career is anybody would wish that. But also an infamous introvert, which people wouldn't know. Very quiet off stage, and same with Jim Carrey. Most entertainers are introverts, contrary to popular belief.
It's interesting. That's I find that more and more as I meet more and more entertainers, and
Mhm.
it's it always seems like just were talking about your struggles, and I'm just amazed that you can do what you do.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a technique before you go to a club or a
Oh
show? Do you
yeah.
have? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm comfortable now because I know what I'm doing and I have it planned out. But I actually been working on this of talking about that on stage. I did a show at this venue called the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall recently, and I said I said to the audience, I think it's very weird that I do this, that I do stand up comedy because in life I hate lines, traffic, crowds of people, and people looking at me, all of which are required for me to be here tonight. And that gets a laugh. And I said, as a matter of fact, if all of you could just turn around and face the back wall, I would feel so much more comfortable telling you these jokes. And of course I wouldn't, but it does feel like that sometimes. And but yeah, I'm well prepared enough, and then I'll do this little thing where before my set, I will somehow try to position myself in front of the crowd without them seeing me, whether it's in a dark corner or peeking out from behind stage. So mentally, I've already looked at the crowd, and mentally, I say to myself, "Okay, I've already been up on stage. It's already happened. There's no ice to break. I've already been up there. Of course, I haven't, but I'm sort of playing a Jedi mind trick on myself to break any kind of anxiety I might have about going out there. So that's the technique. And then I go out there and try to get a laugh pretty quickly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When I've done a lot of stuff on stage, I've as I was a drummer, so I could hide. There was
Hmm.
a lot of stuff in front of me, but and then as an actor, um, most of the time I couldn't see the people out in the audience. Either in my mind they weren't there, or I literally couldn't see them because they're in the dark.
Hmm.
And most shows too, they kind of disappear.
Yeah.
But with a comedy, that's a little different. You're actually performing to that audience, right?
Yeah. I think that's why acting is sometimes hard for stand-ups because there's no reaction. Like I find
Hmm.
that when I've done umpteen commercials and you just deliver a line to nothing. You're like, I guess that's okay. I mean, unless they tell me to do it again, I'm like, I guess I did okay, right? And they're like, yeah, okay, next scene. Just
It's
no,
a
just
very different experience. It's like people who do theater and do film, which I do on a very small level. Theater is when you do the play, it's yours. Like
Right.
the director gets you there, director's done, it's
Yes.
yours, with all kinds of voiceover, TV commercials,
Yeah.
film. It's the director. Like
Yeah.
you're just yeah, you're just the axe or the hammer or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's very different. It's like you'll do as much as you can, but there's no.
Mm-hmm.
I, every time I see something I was in, I was like, why didn't I use the good stuff? Right? It's like, why did they use that?
Yeah.
There was better stuff. I was there.
One of the last commercial, and because I make a lot of facial expressions on stage, and I get a lot of compliments around that. Like your facial expressions are very funny,
Hmm.
and I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what face I'm making, and I can't duplicate it. It's just how I talk, I guess. And I remember one of the last commercials I filmed. The opening scene was this fake superhero and some of his cohorts approaching me slowly with like smoke on the, it's like a dream sequence or something, and literally the scene was just us walking together, filmed from the side, face to face, and they did it, and then the director yells cut, and then the director walks over to me directly, and I'm like, oh boy, and he goes, hey, you're happy to see him in this scene. You're happy to see these people, and I go, yeah, I know. He goes, well, tell your face.
Oh, jeez.
Because you're staring at him like you want to murder him. I'm like, oh, am I? All right, sorry. So in the next scene, I
Oh,
just,
jeez.
smiling. Yeah. And then he's like, all right, we got it. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I
So,
do a lot of stuff where I am over the top characters or have done, and so I'm doing it. But my favorite thing is where you don't have to. Well, basically, you don't have to act. Doing
right.
understated characters. That's always my
Yes.
favorite. And it
Yeah.
always comes out the best. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're
I
not
do
making a
like
face.
pretending to be other people. So,
Yeah.
and comedy on stage is, it's an extension of my personality, right? So it's
Hmm.
sort of like another person up there. When I get off stage, like I mentioned, I'm an introvert, so people often ask, what's wrong? Everything okay? I'm like, no, no, I'm fine. I'm done. I'm finished.
That's it. See you later.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Ta-da.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
hey,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's um with acting. I wish I could control my facial expressions, and I just because I just love pretending to be other people. That's my favorite. That's got to be a some psychologist listening right now is like, this guy needs to come in. We need to hash some things out.
Just pretend you're on a podcast because you're not making a lot of expressions now. You're,
I'm not being charged
you're
for this,
being.
am I? Is there a copay for
Is
this?
there, yeah, if you could send me your insurance information, that would be great. Yeah. Well, listen, you did express you had a schedule to keep, so I should wrap it up for you. Really appreciate you being on the show. I'm going to do my little spiel here. This has been. Were you still talking? This is Joel Albrecht, and you've been listening to Danny Johnson. And go back and listen again if you must. There's a lot of nuggets in there. We finally we got to some things. I was some good stuff. If you want to know about comedy or even do comedy, or maybe you do comedy. Maybe you're one of those people who he's performed with and you want to get better. You can just go ahead and
Right.
listen again. And thank you so much for being on the show.
No, I loved it. And people can check out my special on just go to DannyJohnson.com. All my social links are there and all my special links, and I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks for having me. This was a fun conversation. I'd do it again.
Excellent. God, I would love to do it again. So remember, be good to yourself and be good to each other. Thanks a lot. All righty. It would be great to do it again, but